I don't recall this having two different kinds of screws from factory. Actually, wait a minute. Am I taking off too much? I don't recall any kind of screws from factory. I think mine has clips on it. Well, it's siliconed on, but oh, heavens. Okay. Nice knowing you. If we had this on that one, what do you think's under this one? It's something wide. They did something in here. Let's see what kind of... Oh, they twisted it together. Nice. Well, I'm not even mad about that. Hell, we might just wrap that back up with some fresh tape. Alright, we put a little solder on that. We crimped this better and soldered that. I'm in the process of getting rid of all of these, like 6 gauge, and replacing it with 4 gauge. So we have 6 gauge coming from the battery to trigger the solenoid to push the starter, and then we had that ground that this one was tapped into, that was tapped into this piece, which was also like 6 gauge. So it's supposed to have 4 gauge from factory, and they got extra stuff. So I'm trying to find in my scraps some pieces of 4 gauge, and we're just gonna swap everything out and make it all 4 gauge, at least to the main ground 4 gauge and the solenoid 4 gauge. And then all the rest of the scrap, we're just gonna put it back the way we found it. Here is the wiring all fixed. Replace this with 4 gauge. Replace this with 4 gauge. Put a better terminal on that. Notch this out to where that's got somewhere to ride. Stay out of the way. I already had one hole back here. We drilled a second and zip tied that. Got the CDI box mounted now. Fixed the main harness wires to where this can actually sit. This was for the light switch. We just grounded it there. So everything is much cleaner now. Got some bolts in here now to kind of keep the airbox in place. So everything's looking much better. I found that this airbox isn't even for this thing. It's for a Hyson. And this filter is for a Hyson too. The problem with this filter, it kind of works, but the Grizzly filter has a thing that like fits down in here to like lock it in to keep it from going back. And then here's the other part right here where it kind of like locks in to keep it from, keeps it sealed basically. And then right here and right there, which we'll have to probably try to bend those in a little bit. I'm gonna see if I got a big piece of hose, and we'll just shove a bolt in the hose and RTV it for that drain plug. Oh yeah, there was already a hole here, so I put some red Loctite and a self tapper there. And then back here, I couldn't really figure anything out back here, but I took like an M8 bolt and got it like started and wedged, and then I just like started drilling it in to where the shielding shouldn't rattle like crazy, at least for half the ride. Figure out a more permanent solution if it becomes a problem, but better than when it came in. The grips didn't want to stick, so cleaned it off again, rust converter. We're gonna build it up a little bit with some Plastidip. I was gonna just do some bed liner, but I have none. So we're just spraying this crap on here. Get it nice and ugly. Let it get drips all over it and everything. And then, when we get done with that, happen to have some of this, which is probably like what you're supposed to use. We're gonna stick a heat gun on it, make it cure faster, because we don't care if the finish stays very good or not. After I build up, like, I don't know, let's say 5 layers, I'm gonna let it sit overnight before I put them grips on. Just pulling this air filter out to throw on real quick, and look what they did. They said just shove it on there. Don't even take it out of the bag. It's going to America. F them a-holes. And so here is the difference between what was in there, which I looked this up. It's for a Hyson. It's for this. Versus what should be in there. There's my little thing. So that's some, I think I put black RTV in there. I might not have because it was so tight. And then just wrap some Gorilla Tape around it to where, there it is. Let's see, which one? Which one does it go on? There we go. It goes down in that groove, and then when you put this on, you scoot it like that, and it forces that foam against there to where it's not sucking dirty air around it like that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chop this whole top off like that. I know that's how it is on the Grizzlies. So I'm just going to lop this off. I don't know if I'm going to use a table saw, band saw, scroll saw. Don't know how I'm going to do it yet. I'm going to cut it off though. That's better. I use the chop saw. I know these things, generally, stock jetting can run without the airbox lid. So, like to have that little bitty square and it's coming in and doing a 90 or at least a 60 and then coming in and then doing a 130, I guess. This is much better for it to suck air in, swing around, go to the carb. That's worth one. I'm telling you, it's worth 1 horsepower. That's worth more than a sticker. There is something rattling around in here. Maybe we're gonna pull this end cap off. It's got 2 of the 3 bolts, and then hopefully this whole baffle comes out, and we'll just shove like a magnet down there and pull out whatever is loose and rattling around, because that sounds like crap. Check that out. What the hell's up with all them dents? Is that from someone smacking on this, like it rattling and them just like mad at it? And then it cracked that entire plate. What are the odds of it fitting through this hole? Huh. Let me see if I can come up with something genius. There it is. That's what did it. Grab a hold of it and yank on it. Start squishing it, twisting it. What are you doing? You wanna go for a ride? Let me test it a couple more times.